Just when it seemed the drama between Jax Taylor and Brittany Cartwright had finally started to settle down, a new set of vacation photos turned everything upside down. This time, the headlines aren't just about Jax moving on. They're about who he was reportedly spending time with. The woman at the center of the story isn't a fellow reality star or a mystery date. According to new reports, she's someone who has been part of Jax and Brittany's inner circle for years, making the situation far more personal than anyone expected. Photos from a luxury resort in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, quickly spread across entertainment news and social media, showing Jax getting noticeably close with longtime publicist Lori Krebs. The images reportedly capture the two embracing in a swimming pool, talking for long periods, and appearing comfortable together throughout the day. Almost immediately, fans began asking the same question. Is this simply a vacation between friends, or is there something much bigger happening behind scenes? But the biggest twist came after the photos surfaced. According to a source speaking with Page 6, Brittany Cartwright reportedly wasn't most upset with her estranged husband. Instead, the source claimed she felt far more betrayed by Lori herself. That revelation completely changed the conversation, transforming what first looked like another celebrity dating rumor into a story about trust, loyalty, and friendships that may have quietly fallen apart long before these photos ever appeared. As more details began emerging, another surprising claim resurfaced. Reports suggesting that rumors connecting Jax and Lori had actually circulated years earlier. At the time, those rumors reportedly went nowhere. But now, after these new vacation pictures, fans are looking back at those old whispers with completely different perspective. So what really happened during this birthday getaway in Mexico? Are the viral photos revealing a new relationship? Or has the internet connected that don't tell the full story? As the timeline unfolds, one thing becomes clear. This story is about much more than a vacation. It could reshape relationships that have lasted for years. But before anyone began debating loyalty or betrayal, it all started with a handful of vacation photos that quickly became one of the biggest reality TV stories of the week. What appeared to be a relaxing birthday getaway in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, suddenly turned into headline news after images surfaced showing Jax Taylor spending what looked like an unusually intimate day with longtime publicist Lori Krebs. According to photos published by TMZ, the pair were seen together at a resort pool, appearing comfortable in each other's company for hours. In several images, Jax, shirtless and relaxed, could be seen embracing Lori as they stood together in the water. At different moments, they appear to be talking closely while holding one another, sparking immediate speculation about the nature of their relationship. While the photos alone don't confirm that the two are romantically involved, they were enough to send social media into overdrive. The pictures weren't the only thing attracting attention. TMZ also reported that eyewitnesses claimed Jax and Lori spent much of the day together, without attempting to hide that they were together. According to those accounts, they hugged repeatedly throughout the afternoon and seemed completely at ease in each other's presence. For many fans, those reported observations added another layer to the story, making the vacation appear far more significant than an ordinary group trip. Adding to the speculation, TMZ also obtained video showing Jax and Lori sitting poolside, engaged in what appeared to be a lively and animated conversation. While no audio from the discussion has been made public, viewers online quickly began analyzing their body language, with some suggesting the two looked unusually close. It's important to note, however, that body language alone cannot confirm the nature of any relationship, and neither Jax nor Lori has publicly stated that they are dating. Reports indicate the Mexico trip was organized as part of a larger group celebration for Jax's birthday, which fell on July 11th. That detail is important because it suggests they weren't vacationing completely alone. Even so, the viral photos focused almost entirely on the interactions between Jax and Lori, quickly overshadowing the rest of the birthday festivities and becoming the story everyone was talking about. At first glance, it might have looked like another celebrity vacation making headlines. But as fans dug deeper into Lori Krebs' identity, they realized this wasn't just any woman standing beside Jax Taylor. She had reportedly been part of both his and Brittany Cartwright's professional lives for years, and that revelation changed the story completely. But what truly transformed this from a typical celebrity dating rumor into a major reality TV headline wasn't the vacation itself. It was Lori Krebs' connection to Jax Taylor and Brittany Cartwright. If the woman in those photos had been someone completely unknown, the story might have faded after a day or two. Instead, fans quickly realized that Lori was a stranger entering Jax's life. According to reports, she had been a trusted part of both Jax and Brittany's professional circle for years. As a longtime publicist and talent representative, Lori reportedly worked closely with the couple throughout much of their public journey. Behind the scenes, publicists often become more than business contacts. They're involved in media appearances, career decisions, crisis management, and many of the biggest moments in a celebrity's public life. Because of that close working relationship, the vacation photos immediately carried a different level of emotional weight. For longtime followers of Vanderpump Rules in the Valley, that detail was impossible to ignore. Jax and Brittany have spent years sharing their relationship, marriage, and family life with audiences. Through the highs and the lows, people close to them became familiar faces to fans. So when Lori's name appeared in connection with Jax, many viewers were surprised not simply because of the photos, but because of the history she reportedly shared with both of them. Then another detail resurfaced that made the situation even more complicated. According to a source quoted by Page 6, rumors linking Jax and Lori had actually circulated around 2 years ago. At the time, those rumors reportedly never gained much traction, and the source claimed Brittany chose to believe Lori's assurances that nothing was happening. Those earlier whispers eventually faded from public attention, but after the Mexico photos surfaced, many fans began looking back at them in a completely different light. Of course, it's important to separate confirmed facts from speculation. The published photos showed Jax and Lori spending time together, and entertainment outlets have reported eyewitness accounts of their interactions. However, neither Jax Taylor nor Lori Krebs has publicly confirmed they are in a romantic relationship. Many of the conclusions circulating online are based on interpretation rather than official statements. Still, the identity of the woman in those photos is what turned this into one of the biggest celebrity stories of the week. This wasn't just about two people vacationing together. It became a story about trust, professional relationships, and friendships that may have quietly changed behind the scenes. And according to new reports, no one was more affected by that revelation than Brittany Cartwright herself. But to understand why these vacation photos have generated such an emotional reaction, it's important to look at the bigger picture. Jax Taylor and Brittany Cartwright's relationship has been unfolding in the public eye for years, with millions of viewers watching every high point and every setback. Their love story, marriage, and eventual separation have all played out under an intense spotlight, making every new development feel like another chapter in an ongoing story that fans have been following for a long time. For years, Jax and Brittany appeared to be one of reality television's most recognizable couples. After meeting, falling in love, and eventually getting married, they built a family together and welcomed their son while continuing to share parts of their personal lives with viewers. Like many reality TV relationships, however, their journey wasn't without challenges. Arguments, trust issues, and personal struggles often became part of the conversation, leaving fans wondering whether the couple could overcome the obstacles in front of them. Eventually, those challenges led to separation, with both Jax and Brittany acknowledging that they were moving forward on different paths. Although they became estranged as husband and wife, they also made it clear that co-parenting their son would remain a priority. In interviews and on television, both have spoken about trying to navigate this new chapter while keeping their family's well-being at the center of their decisions. That balance hasn't always been easy, especially while living so much of their lives in the public eye. Because of that history, every headline involving either of them tends to attract enormous attention. Whether it's a new interview, a social media post, or vacation photos like these, fans naturally compare each new development to everything that has happened before. The Mexico pictures arrived at a time when many people were still closely following the aftermath of their separation, making the story feel even more personal to longtime supporters of the couple. At the same time, it's worth remembering that relationships often continue to evolve after separation, and not every public appearance tells a complete story. While the vacation photos have fueled widespread speculation, neither Jax nor Lori has publicly confirmed a romantic relationship. Likewise, much of the discussion surrounding Jax and Brittany's current dynamic has been shaped by media reports and unnamed sources rather than direct comments from everyone involved. Even so, The story didn't stop at the photos or the separation itself. Once news of the vacation spread across social media, fans wasted no time sharing their opinions. Some defended Jax's right to move on, while others focused on Lori's longtime connection to Brittany. Within hours, the internet had chosen sides, and the debate became even more intense. But as the conversation continued to unfold, it became clear that the real story wasn't simply about a vacation or a few viral photos. It was about the complicated aftermath of a relationship that millions of reality TV fans have watched for years. Even though Jax Taylor and Brittany Cartwright are now estranged, their lives remain deeply connected to their family, their shared history, and the public interest that follows them everywhere they go. Since announcing their separation, both Jax and Brittany have been navigating a difficult transition while trying to move forward individually. Their relationship has experienced very public highs and lows over the years, from their early romance on reality television to marriage, parenthood, and eventually deciding to live separate lives. Because so much of that journey played out in front of cameras, fans have remained emotionally invested in what happens next. One of the biggest challenges following any high-profile split is learning how to build a new normal. In interviews and television appearances, both have spoken about the importance of co-parenting their young son and maintaining stability for their family despite the end of their marriage. While that process has not always appeared easy, they have repeatedly emphasized that their child's well-being comes first. Supporters have praised those efforts, even as headlines about their personal lives continue to dominate entertainment news. That's one reason the Mexico vacation photos generated such a strong reaction. They didn't appear in isolation. Instead, they arrived while many fans were still following every update about Jax and Brittany's post-separation lives. Seeing Jax spending time with someone reportedly connected to both of them professionally immediately added another emotional layer to an already sensitive situation. For some viewers, the issue wasn't simply whether Jax was moving on. It was the identity of the person he was reportedly spending time with. According to a source quoted by Page 6, Brittany reportedly felt more hurt by Lori Krebs than by Jax himself. The source claimed Brittany no longer expected much from her estranged husband, but had continued trusting Lori after earlier rumors reportedly surfaced years ago. It's important to note that these comments come from an unnamed source and have not been independently confirmed by Brittany herself. Even so, the reported reaction quickly became one of the biggest talking points surrounding the story. Whether those reports accurately reflect Brittany's feelings or not, they illustrate why the situation has captured so much attention. This is no longer just another celebrity dating rumor. It has become a story about loyalty, trust, and how relationships can become even more complicated after a public separation. And once those reports began circulating, social media exploded with opinions from every direction, turning the story into one of the week's biggest online debates. But once the vacation photos and the reported reaction from Brittany Cartwright began circulating, the internet did what it always does. It picked sides almost immediately. Within hours, social media was flooded with opinions, reaction videos, fan theories, and heated debates. What started as a handful of pictures from a resort in Mexico quickly became one of the most talked about reality TV stories of the week. Many fans focused on the reported connection between Jax Taylor and Lori Krebs, arguing that this wasn't simply about Jax moving on after separation. Instead, they pointed to Lori's reported history as a longtime publicist for both Jax and Brittany, saying that professional relationships often involve a high level of trust. For those fans, that detail made the story feel far more personal than an ordinary celebrity dating rumor. Comment sections quickly filled with messages discussing loyalty, friendship, and whether certain boundaries had been crossed. Others looked at the situation from a different perspective. They argued that Jax and Brittany are estranged, meaning both have a right to move forward with their personal lives. Supporters of that view suggested the public doesn't know what conversations have taken place behind closed doors and shouldn't rush to judge people based on a few vacation photos. They reminded others that relationships are often much more complicated than what appears in headlines. At the same time, countless rumors and theories began spreading online. Some users claimed the photos confirmed a new romance, while others revisited reports that rumors connecting Jax and Lori had surfaced years earlier. It's important to remember, however, that neither Jax Taylor nor Lori Krebs has publicly confirmed they are in a romantic relationship. Much of the discussion across social media has been driven by speculation and interpretation rather than verified facts. Another topic dominating the conversation was a reported reaction attributed to Brittany. According to a source quoted by Page 6, she allegedly felt more betrayed by Lori than by Jax. That claim became one of the most widely shared parts of the story, with fans debating whether the bigger issue was a possible new relationship or the reported impact it had on friendships that had existed for years. Since those comments came from an unnamed source, viewers have continued waiting to see whether anyone involved chooses to address the situation publicly. In many ways, the online reaction says just as much about celebrity culture as it does about the people involved. Every new photo, every anonymous source, and every social media post quickly becomes another piece of a puzzle that millions of people try to solve in real time. Sometimes those pieces fit together. Other times, they don't. Until the people at the center of the story speak for themselves, much of what the internet believes remains exactly that. Belief rather than confirmation. For now, the headlines continue to generate attention, but the biggest questions remain unanswered. Were these simply misunderstood vacation moments? Or is a new chapter quietly unfolding behind the scenes? As fans continue searching for clues, everyone is waiting to see what happens next. But after the headlines, the vacation photos, and the endless social media speculation, the biggest question still remains unanswered. What happens next? Despite all the attention surrounding the Mexico trip, there has been no official confirmation from Jax Taylor or Lori Krebs about the true nature of their relationship. Until either of them chooses to speak publicly, much of the conversation will continue to be driven by reports, eyewitness accounts, and fan speculation rather than confirmed facts. One thing that is certain is that the published photos have changed the public conversation. Whether the pair are simply close friends or something more, the images have placed both Jax and Lori under an intense spotlight. Every future public appearance, social media post, or vacation photo will likely be analyzed by fans looking for clues about where their relationship stands. That's often the reality of life in the public eye. Once a story gains momentum, even ordinary moments can become headline news. Attention is also likely to remain focused on Brittany Cartwright. According to a source quoted by Page 6, she reportedly learned about the vacation photos when they became public and felt especially hurt by Lori's reported involvement. It's important to remember that these claims come from an unnamed source, and Brittany herself has not publicly confirmed those reported feelings. Still, if she eventually decides to address the situation, her comments could dramatically change how fans view everything that has unfolded so far. Meanwhile, Page 6 reported that it reached out to Jax Taylor, Lori Krebs, and Brittany Cartwright for comment. At the time of those reports, none of the three had publicly responded. That silence has only fueled even more curiosity online, with many fans wondering whether an official statement is coming or whether everyone involved plans to let the story fade on its own. Until then, every new development will likely receive enormous attention from both entertainment media and reality TV fans. Beyond the questions surrounding a possible romance, this situation could also have lasting effects on personal and professional relationships. If the reported friendship between Brittany and Lori has indeed broken down, it marks the end of a connection that reportedly stretched back years. At the same time, Jax continues navigating life after his separation while balancing fatherhood, television, and the constant attention that follows his every move. How those relationships evolve in the months ahead remains to be seen. For now, though, the facts remain surprisingly simple. Photos from a birthday trip have gone viral. Reports claim Brittany feels betrayed. Fans are deeply divided. But until the people at the center of the story choose to share their own side, the biggest questions remain unanswered. And in Hollywood, it's often those unanswered questions that keep everyone watching for the next headline. In the end, what began as a birthday getaway in Puerto Vallarta has turned into one of the biggest reality TV stories of the week. A series of vacation photos showing Jax Taylor and Lori Krebs spending time together sparked countless headlines, online debates, and questions about what may or may not be happening behind the scenes. But beyond the photos themselves, it was Lori's reported history as a trusted publicist for both Jax and Brittany Cartwright that transformed the story into something far more emotional and personal. As of now, many of the biggest questions remain unanswered. The published images show Jax and Lori appearing close during their vacation, and eyewitnesses reportedly described them spending much of the day together. However, neither Jax Taylor nor Lori Krebs has publicly confirmed they are in a romantic relationship. Likewise, reports about Brittany's feelings have come from unnamed sources rather than direct public statements from Brittany herself. That's an important distinction to remember as speculation continues to spread across social media. What this story truly highlights is how complicated life can become after a very public separation. Relationships evolve, friendships can change, and the lines between personal and professional lives sometimes become blurred. When those changes involve people who spent years in the public eye, every new photo or rumor quickly becomes another headline. Whether this vacation marks the beginning of a new relationship or simply a misunderstood moment between longtime acquaintances is something only the people involved can answer. Until then, fans will continue following every update, searching for clues in future interviews, social media posts, and public appearances. If any of the people at the center of this story decide to break their silence, the conversation could shift once again. But for now, much of what the internet believes remains speculation rather than confirmed fact. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think after seeing the vacation photos? Do you believe they point to a new romance? Or do you think people are reading too much into the situation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy staying up to date with the latest celebrity drama, reality TV headlines, and Hollywood news, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next breaking story.